Hey everybody, it's Annette. I'm doing my second kitty feature. I think this one is a girl. They are going to be named. I'll reveal the name soon once I remember who the boy is. I did actually notice it today. I was like, okay, there's one that's a little different. So they are like so what tail. They're so wiggly. They're growing out of their habitat. So I don't know how long the kitten will be in the video, but the question that I want to talk about tonight about fostering, common questions that I get as a foster is, how do you let them go? Get that asked a lot of times, and people say, I could never do that. I could never let them go. Well, it's not for everybody. Some people just can't. They do get really attached to their fosters, and then they adopt, which is great. We always want to see an adoption, and if it's a approved foster, then it's a win-win. However, that also limits a foster's ability to take on more pets as a rule. So how do I let them go? Seriously. What I have to do, and over the years, is consider it and look at it as this is the mission. The mission is I'm assigned to this pet, in this case, pets, and my mission is to work with that pet, feed it, nurture it, love it, socialize it, definitely socialize it, because the goal is to have them ready for a forever family. Those little nails, ouch, are killing me. Okay, I'm gonna put it down because I'm getting like slaughtered here. But anyway, I have to consider a mission in different phases. Obviously, phase one, supply the safe place for the pet, and then nurture it, feed it, love it, make sure it's healthy, socialize it, and then prepare it for an adoptive home. And depending on what type of pet I'm fostering and how young it is, for instance, kittens and puppies love everybody. But then when you're dealing with a dog who may have had past trauma, may have been abandoned, may have had an owner pass away, or have to go to a facility, a nursing facility, and honestly, nothing the owner did wrong. They just cannot care for that pet anymore, and they don't have any family members to help. My nose is tickling now. So kittens and puppies, while they're more work, they're easier to have ready to adopt because they pretty much love everybody. They've not, when you've raised them and fostered them from that, they don't have that trauma. If it's another dog that's had trauma, I work through that trauma and get it socialized. Or if it's a cat who's a little bit older, or a kitten that's a little bit older and they're a little bit skittish, get them used to it, give them time to decompress, like a day or two, put them in a smaller area with a little cover over it, a place where they can get in and out in a safe and closed area. And then once the decompression phase has come and gone, then my next thing I'm going to work on is getting them used to seeing me, hearing my voice, associating me with the food and the nourishment that they get, so that they, start getting it in their little pet brains that this is somebody who's bringing me something to eat. My belly is wanting something. This person is coming to me and providing that for me. So getting them comfortable with that, realizing that you're a food source, and then touching them. And some of the skittish cats and some of the dogs who've been through trauma don't know what it's like to have a kind hand put on them. So you pet them, handle them carefully, use calm, keep yourself calm and grounded. They can sense your emotions, obviously. They're very, very sensitive to if you're nervous, if you have the nervous energy, or if you're afraid of them. Fear does not really have a place. You want to be smart, but when you're dealing with pets that are very sensitive, you'll imagine people who are empaths by nature, how sensitive they are to being in negative places. Well, intensify that by however many with a pet, because they're very, very sensitive to stressors and hostility and stuff like that. When you bring that calm energy to them, that helps. So the food source, the petting, and then they realize, oh, this feels good. That's your goal. Get them to feeling, oh, this feels good. This is nice. This hand on me rubbing me feels very good. I would like some more of that. And then you sit there and let them come to you, and they'll come to you, and then they'll get the purrs going, or the puppy will come to, or the dog will come to you and get close to you for more petting. So you're developing the positive interactions with these pets, giving them the positive experience every time you interact with them. The other thing that I do to prepare them for their next place, and I can assure you, fosters do this. We have to make sure that the pet that we are fostering, that will be going into a home with some other people, we have to make sure that pet is not going to bite or hurt people in the home. We are sticking our hands, our heads, our bodies in interacting with them. We're testing for food aggression. We're testing for how they interact with other pets, how they interact with men or women or children, because some pets have trauma and inexplicably, you don't know why, they might be afraid of, for example, a man, and they may be okay with women. And you don't know, they can't speak to us and let us know what past trauma. It could be, it could be that somebody was unkind to them. So when they see a male figure or the person that for whatever reason triggers that response in them, then you may need to go, okay, this pet needs to be in a home with either a retired woman or an unmarried woman or something like that. Or this pet has food aggression, feed this pet separately, keep the kids away. Don't let them stick their hands in their bowls, because you got to think, some of these pets, when they're eating, they don't know when their next meal is going to come. So if they've been food deprived in the past and they're eating and getting their bellies full, if you stick your hand in their dish, their natural response is going to be to bite. So I'm not necessarily sticking my hand in their dish, but I may be petting them or adding food to their bowl. I'm testing them to see how they're going to act, because if anybody gets bit, it needs to be the foster. And I'm not speaking for other fosters. I'm speaking for me, because I don't want anybody to get bit. I don't want to get bit. But I have to make sure this pet is safe so it can go on to the next step, which is to be prepared for an adoptive home. So we had, for example, my last adoption with the big cat, and he got returned. He didn't like other cats, and he had been in a home where he was the only cat. Although he was young, he was used to being the only cat, and he was not adapting well. So we had to specify it needs to be an only cat home. And so we found a really positive potential for an adopter. And this adopter, young married woman, had 2 children. Well, I hadn't temp tested the cat around children. And I told the rescue, I'm like, I'm going to contact one of my neighbors who's got 2 of the most amazing kids who love all animals, and they are like animal whisperers. I don't care what kind of animal it is. These kids are amazing. So they're young. They were a little older than the kids where the adopter was. But I'm like, they're young enough and close enough in age. This will be the right one. So of course I called their mom and said, hey, can they please come? You come with them. Can you help me do a temp test? And she brought them over. The cat loved them. All pets love those kids. I don't, they are, they are magic. But because he was taken well to being around the small children and doing well with the petting, then I was able to say, yes, he's been temp tested around children. He's done well. He passed that test. Now, the one pet I was not able to and would not have put on a transport that I ended up, she's my long term, I ended up adopting her, the fear aggression dog, because only my husband, myself, and then my kids can handle her to walk her. We cannot go up to her and just grab her or startle her. She has got fear aggression. And I knew and communicated to the rescue we were working with as a third party at the time that this dog cannot go on transport because she is going to be a danger to somebody else. Somebody's going to get hurt. So that's what we do. We temp test everybody. We learn what their good habits are, their bad habits. Obviously, puppies and kittens, we're wanting to teach them not to bite, because puppies want to bite. They're like furry sharks. And we have to not let them, even though it may feel good on our fingers, well, somebody in a home adopts them with small children, that's not going to feel the same on little fingers. That's going to hurt. So we break them from the biting, doing the same kind of thing they do if they're in a pack. We yelp. And usually it's a real yelp because it hurts. And they back off and they stop and they realize that that sound means you're being too rough, because that's how they interact when they're puppies. If you'll notice when they're playing, if they play too hard, puppies will yelp if they hurt one another. So we're breaking them of that. Breaking the kittens, for example, of scratching to the best of our ability by providing them interactive toys, cat scratching poles and stuff like that. And also, if they are adopted into a family with children, transparent with whoever I'm communicating with when I introduce myself and I'm answering their questions about a pet. I said, please, if you've got small children, just remember they're kittens. Their little nails are really, really, they're like teeny weeny little razors. I said, just be mindful of that, and have your children wear long pants or something like that around them. As they grow and then they get calmer, that's going to be fine. You're not going to go pet your adult tame cat and it's going to all over you like that. But kittens are kittens. They're going to do that. So just providing them interactive toys is a distraction, so they're not trying to climb you like a cat tower. And then also communicating with people who are interested in adopting. That's what you do. So how do I let them go? I'm doing all this because the end goal is to see them in a home, an adoptive home, where they can spend the rest of their lives safe, happy, and loved. And again, it's a gift you give to somebody, but the goal is, so while it's bittersweet seeing them go, I encourage my adopters to send me photos, let me know how the pet's settling, and I have so many adopters who are good at that. And I thank them, and I'm blessed. I've got some long-term people who are my friends on Facebook who've adopted pets, and even some of the ones who have crossed the Rainbow Bridge, they will let me know, and I cry with them. I will sympathize with them because that was a part of my heart too. So that's what you do. So the ultimate goal is, once this adoption has taken place, once I have confirmation that everybody is settled in, the family dynamics are working, the other dynamics with if any other pets are in the home are working, once I get all clear on that, that is mission accomplished. And that's how I do it. So There have been tears. There have been those that we really, really like and we hated to see them go, but I can't keep 20 dogs. I can't keep that. And if I'm keeping it just for my own selfish reasons, then I'm depriving somebody else of happiness, because usually those are pets people really want. And cute as a button, and you love them, you just give them what they need, and then don't be greedy about it. Obviously, Pearl, I got one spotted dog that I got ready. I fostered, got her ready. She got returned twice. She picked me. So I did make a good faith effort for her to get adopted. But for the most part is that that's the mission. And I have to look at it that way. And when I look at it that way, while it's bittersweet sometimes, some, I'll admit, are easier to send on than others, depending, what their personality is or how they meshed with the rest of the pets in the house, or if they're just like making me crazy or a little too active or something like that. But I mean, that's their personality, and I convey that to the adopter that, okay, this is my foster. These are the personalities of my foster. I'm going to be transparent with you, and if these are deal breakers, let me know. And these are real examples. So and so will steal your shoes. You need to elevate your shoes. Or so and so likes to tip over trash cans. And especially with some of the bigger dogs, if you've ever heard the term counter surfing, some of the bigger dogs will like to do that. That means they are able to stand up and use their height to their advantage to get stuff on your counter, and then to eat it, pull it in the floor and eat it. And so you kind of have to keep things pushed back because they don't know. You're teaching them. When you see them doing it, you say no, but sometimes we go to work, we go to Sunday school and church. We're like, we're not home all the time. So if counter surfing is their jam, then let the adopter know that. So we always are transparent because we don't want people to have like surprises. If they realize, oh, a counter surfer is a deal breaker, I can't have that, then at least you've spared that person's heart and feelings and the trouble of getting that dog to where it needs to go, or that cat, for the adopter. And I don't want to ever see anybody who's adopted have to realize this isn't working because of anything that I may have not disclosed. So always transparency and honesty are key, and let the adopter determine if that's going to work for them or not. And I have discovered over the years, people know about different breeds and different habits and stuff like that, and they've been cool with it. So never be afraid to tell the truth. It's always the best thing to do. But that's the answer to my question. How do I let them go? It's a mission. And what I like to see is mission accomplished. Love y'all. Take care. Have a good night.